Hello, it's Wednesday, and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
So a farm murder happened last week, but for some reason nobody is talking about it.
Yo.
Let's just check out this clip first, and then you tell me what you think about it.
Let's take you back to Limpopo in Polokwane. Muloko is in outside the Mankweng Magistrate Court, where two employees on the farm are going to be appearing. Zachariah Olifir, Rudolph Devet, and William Musora, accused of killing two women whose decomposing bodies were then found on Olifir's farm in the Sibayeng area. It's believed the bodies were being fed to pigs. Good morning, Muloko. What's happening?
Good morning, Braden Moyani. The two men will, the three men actually, the farm owner and two of his employees will be making a second appearance in the Mankweng Magistrates Court. I'm just going to quickly step out of shot so that my colleague can show you some of the people who have come out to picket outside. Mainly they are members of the ANC Women's League, and I understand that they have been picketing even from day one, on the day the three men got arrested. They were arrested sometime last week following the discovery of that gruesome instance where the bodies of the two women were found in a decomposed state, and we are told that the pigs had already begun to feast on their bodies. But let's bring into this conversation.
So what are your thoughts on all of that?
Probably like one of the most inhumane things or crimes I've heard in a while here in South Africa. You mentioned like nothing being said about it. Yes, I also noticed that. Like you're only hearing like here and there, but there's no outrage.
So my question is, why should there be outrage?
Well, because it's just sort of
See, that's the part that I want to get into in this video. Why should there be outrage?
You know, I think there's an expectation for there to be an outrage because of like what we previously heard, you know, the Elon Musks and everyone getting involved and saying that there's farm murders, and you know, the farmers are being murdered, white farmers are being murdered in South Africa and stuff. And it's like, well, this is hypocritical.
So for me, this is an interesting topic. Unfortunately, this is a tragedy. People were murdered and then mutilated and then fed to pigs, which is very bad. Like you wouldn't want that to happen to anybody. But unfortunately, these things happen, and these things happen to innocent people. So when the story broke out, people were very surprised that there's not as much outrage from South Africans as maybe you got in the Chidima story.
Yeah.
The Chidima story was trending for weeks on end, almost the whole month. It was trending for the whole month. People were talking about it all day, every day. And when this story happens,
didn't get the same reaction.
Yeah, it's just the news reporting, and that's it. Nobody's talking about it. It didn't even trend for one day. Like nothing happened. My perspective on this is that there's agendas that need to be pushed here. Unfortunately, people like to use tragedies to push certain agendas.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's
like you see, you guys are busy with this and busy with that. Like
that's how the game works.
Yeah.
So now, what happened is this tragedy happened. And the so-called Pan-Africanists and the black activists, they use this tragedy to point out the fact that
the us versus them situation.
To point out the fact that, look, South Africans are not outraged by something so horrific as compared to a young black girl wanting to be Miss South Africa. You see the agenda that they're trying to push.
Yes.
Right? So Pan-Africanists came out to attack those patriots, the patriots that were against Chidima representing South Africa, and saying, look, how you treated a black girl.
You know, because you know what? That's the problem. They take that situation purely as just an innocent girl who decided to enter a pageant, and we had a problem with that. That's the problem. They literally diminish it to that. And that's not the truth. You understand what I'm saying? even I would feel like we're petty if that was, like the whole truth of the situation. So that's the problem. That's why they're comparing this to like, oh, you guys are just haters, focusing on being haters, hating on a black girl who just wants to be
Look
a
at you
model.
guys.
Yes.
Look at how much energy you guys put
Yes,
into hating
into
another black
hating
person.
another black
But when a
person.
white person does something
Then-
wrong,
Like, do you
guys are
think
fine.
we love? Do you think we love and we're happy about this person who killed people and put them? I don't think anybody loves that situation, other than the fact that you're trying to dictate how we respond to things, our emotions, what we respond to, and you know what I'm saying? Like, of which that's wrong. Allow us to naturally react to whatever we naturally wish to react to in a natural way. There are so many tragedies that happen all the time, every single day, none being more important than the other. When it comes to social media, it's social media. You can't dictate how people respond to things like socially. That's something you can't really dictate. But you are in a position, like, if something touched you and you really want to bring awareness to it, by all means, do it. But you comparing people like, oh, why are you responding to this?
again, to your point, which was a good point, which is something that I wanted to touch on. So you can't dictate how everybody should react to something, and if you want to raise awareness to a situation, just do that.
Just do that.
Now the problem is, Pan-Africanists cannot raise awareness the way
Yes.
other people can.
Yes.
The likes of white people, the likes of AfriForum, the likes of the Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Whenever those people speak, millions of people listen.
Yes.
It becomes news. It becomes a talked about topic.
Yes.
It becomes all those things. Recently now, patriots have shown that they can also influence conversation in the media. They can get politicians to talk about certain issues.
Yes.
They can get ministers to even be involved in these issues. But now, when this happens,
Yeah.
Pan-Africanists cannot do that. It's either they don't have the numbers, or they
Yes.
just cannot. They cannot influence social conversation
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Because something like this, if something like this was to happen, let's say if it was a GBV case, there'll be enough women complaining about this
Yeah.
for it to be a topic of conversation. It will trend on social media. It will be spoken about in the news, and politicians will be involved.
Yes.
If this was a case of a black farmer killing a white person, there'll be enough white people talking about it. This will be of social conversation.
Yes.
This will trend. People will talk about this in the news,
Yes.
and ministers will be involved.
Yes.
But now, because it's a white farmer killing a black person, and only the
So do you
Pan-African
realize that the for the mere fact that people aren't as alarmed should show you how often things like this happen?
It's not even that. It's just that. Again, so Pan-Africanists also, again, because it's a white person doing this,
Yeah.
right? They want to be outraged about it because it's a white person killing a black person.
Yes.
But out of all the 80 plus murders that happen a day,
Yes. It's
when
not about
black
the
people-
murder. It's not about the
Yes.
women who are murdered and fed to pigs.
it's because it's a
about
white person
a white person
killing a black
killing a black person.
and then you want to
Yes.
be outraged about that. But forgetting that they are 80
But
plus,
hate it when it's the other way around.
they forget that there are 80 plus murders that happen a day. Black people killing black people.
Yes.
Colors killing there's all sorts of types of murders, and then you want people to
But
be
they force
outraged
us to go with this. They you know what I'm saying?
because as if they want to push their agenda, right?
Yes.
So white people on the other side, they push their agenda that
Yes.
farm murders, this is white genocide, this is black people trying to erase white people
Yeah.
in South Africa, and Pan-Africanists didn't like that. And then now when there's this situation that's happening, now they like, look, there's a white farmer killing a black lady, but everybody is quiet. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's saying anything. They tagging Elon, they tagging AfriForum, they tagging the DA, they tagging everybody, but all those people are quiet. So again, the fact that you have to do all of that, you have to tag all these
Yes.
people to try and make them comment about it, shows that you do not have the numbers or the influence to to influence social conversation,
Yes.
to make things trend, to get people involved in these
What
things.
what do you think is their biggest issue when it comes to that?
Whenever a white person dies, right, that is a big thing.
That's a big thing.
It's a big thing in general.
Yeah.
So whenever a black person dies, it's not a big thing. Black
Yeah.
people die every day.
Yeah.
Black people die in numbers every day.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that black people don't value black lives. Because
yeah.
if we're outraged by every single murder that happened when a black person dies,
Yeah.
this would also be an outrage.
Yes.
But because we don't care about
Because we know
the 70 plus murders that happened,
Yes.
and now we only want to care about this one
about
because
this
because
one
it's race.
because it's race.
It's race related. Like nobody
I
cares.
hear you.
know?
Absolutely.
So, again,
I
it needs
hear
to be a thing of like black people need to value their lives.
Yes. Let's do it as a
black-
whole.
yeah.
Let's not be selective about
Yes.
what Black Lives matter. Like, you know what I'm
Black
saying?
lives only matter when a white person.
When a white person is
is
involved,
murdering
or
that
he's the murderer, or he's
But when it's black on black,
on black, don't
nobody
matter.
cares. So why should we care about this one?
Exactly.
like-
And they get so emotional. Like, they get so caught up in their hate for white people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the time, they get so hate up in that emotion, and it's like, well, we almost like we all share that hate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for
And they're so
me,
surprised when
a
nobody
murder is a murder. An evil person is evil. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, whether you're black, whether you're white, or whatever.
If this whole Chidima story should teach y'all something, is that the natives have been complaining about foreigners for years.
For years.
And then now, when the foreigner has a chance to represent
Yeah.
us, the natives were like, no, we will not allow
Yes.
it because people are not listening to what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Is it most Pan-Africanists just dismiss South African cries
Mm-hmm.
for help as being xenophobic, as just being hateful?
Yes.
And even though there's some merits to a lot of these cries,
Mm.
most of Africa is just like, your guys are xenophobic, stop hating on other black
Mm.
people. So to the South African perspective, Pan-Africanists excuse criminality
Yes.
just because it's a black person.
It's a black person. So it's okay if you're a criminal, if you're black, and you know, but
excusing
Yes.
illegal immigration,
Illegal
and all
immigration.
that comes with that.
on the
just be-
basis that
just
they are
because
an African,
these are
we are
Africans
one, we
and
are
they
brothers and
They should
sisters.
be allowed to live anywhere in Africa. Is you see, I don't know if there's, I don't know if you see the
I
disconnect
don't think
there.
that
but
registers to them. When
the
they
fact that
make
you're
this
not
argument.
listening. Okay, my question to Pan-Africanists is that how are you gonna unite the whole of Africa if you're not willing to listen to different subsections of Africa when they're complaining
It's
about
like
certain
your
people?
one matters more than the ones of like the individual.
But yeah, this whole thing was just interesting to me to see how different people use like tragedies to push their agenda
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And whenever you look at these kind of things, it's like, okay, something bad happened. The people who did it got arrested. The people right now are
Yeah.
in jail and they're awaiting their trial.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're gonna get their trial and then they get put away for life.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the
Like,
story.
how do you want us to respond to this? Like, stop murders, or like, well, what are we supposed to do?
So I'm guessing
I'm
I'm guessing
trying
they want this story to trend one. They want it to
Yes,
trend
okay.
as much as Chidima's or more than Chidima's story trended.
Why?
Two,
So that it can illuminate that white people are killing black people
Yes.
in South Africa.
even though that thing doesn't happen as much as they wanted to.
Like, how
make
is
it
that a
happen.
true reflection of what is happening on a daily basis?
They just want to highlight this event to dispel the whole theory of farm murders being white genocide.
Yes.
why
Okay,
they wanna
I hear that. That one I hear, to be honest, because like it was pretty irritating as well to make it like, oh, white farmers are just being targeted. I hated that narrative. I really did. And just as much as I'm hating this narrative, you understand what I'm saying, that they're also trying to push. So I don't believe in fighting fire with fire, right?
To me, all these guys
It's
are like,
just silly.
all these guys are like different sides of the same coin. Like
Yes.
just racist. being
Racist, being racist.
They just
One,
hate each other.
they're in favor of white people because they're white, and the other are in favor of black people because they're black.
Yes, it's unfortunate that the story is being used to push certain narratives. But at the end of the day, hopefully justice will be served. Hopefully these people will get sentenced and get put away for life. And then that's the end of the story. If you really want Black lives to matter, you should be showing outrage to every Black person that gets
murdered
every day,
and all other crimes
Yes.
against Black people.
because being selective about which murder to be outraged by just based on race.
You guys
and all
get
that stuff
so
like
caught up in the us versus them thing that you don't really look at the detail.
but then the thing is,
Psychopathic.
like Black people do this too. Like there's a couple of instances where Black people will like kill each other and mutilate for organs,
Yes, for
harvest
organs. Yes.
decapitate, walk around with the heads. You find heads in
Some
prison.
selling it for what? For booty and stuff.
Yeah.
For
So, I mean, everybody's bad.
evil is evil. It doesn't have a color.
Pan-Africanists don't have the numbers or the social influence to influence conversation in a bigger scale where they can get the likes of celebrities, the likes of politicians, and even our president involved. Like nobody's talking about this issue, so it just highlighted that again. But again, you guys just let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yeah, let us know.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.